Relationships are hard work, especially when there could already be problems. Consider giving your relationships a refreshing boost with these 5 easy tips, and joining us to share his expert advice is Dr. Rob Robinson, Clinical Director of Family Care Counseling Associates in Wilbraham. Dr. Robinson, great to have you back.
Ashley, great to be back.
So nice
Thanks
to
for
talk
having
to
me.
you.
Yeah, great.
A lot of people are looking forward to hearing your tips because everyone can apply this to their life, whether they're married or in a relationship, not in a relationship. They can use your advice.
Right. Well, you know, thanks mostly to the work of John Gottman, who wrote a great book called The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work and spent 30 years researching the science of relationships. And basically, one of the most important components in making a relationship work is the relationship friendship, the foundation of friendship, which really is comprised of 3 important things. And one thing is knowing a lot about your partner. And in order to do that, you have to ask questions. When you go on weekly dates, you're out to dinner, talk to one another with open-ended questions. What's important to you? How do you want to spend weekends? What do you want to do at the bathroom? What do you want to do 5 years from now? How was your week? What are the 2 most important things that happened? Open-ended questions build the information pool, and the more you know about your partner, the more connected you are. The other piece that's most important is being able to turn toward your partner rather than away. When you look at the research about how important it is to respond to bids that we make to one another every day in relationships, it's critical to respond to those bids. For example, if someone gets up and said, look at that beautiful sunrise, or did you read this article in the paper, or how about that book you read? It turns out that responding to those things with validation becomes a critical component to building the relationship. The masters of marriage, the people who really do well at it, respond to 86% of those bids every single day. And the people who are not doing well only respond to about 33% of those bids. So when we talk about turning toward your partner, it's about making sure that you're being receptive to respond to those bids all the time and making deposits in the emotional bank account. As it turns out, there's, you know, marital capital is an important thing in getting over stressful events that happen, because in family life and marriage, it's one damn thing after another.
Yes.
So it's very important to be able to have a lot in the account to be able to get over those stressful situations that happen every day. If you don't have a lot in that emotional bank account, people struggle immensely. It's very easy to detect that in couples therapy when you're working with couples, because the patience level, the harsh startups are very evident. You can tell when people have not really made an effort to make the emotional bank account a priority.
It's interesting that something as simple as acknowledging what your partner says and responding can make a huge difference, and statistics show.
Absolutely critical, and that stuff is science. I mean, Gottman has done some unbelievable things in giving us 30 years worth of research to help people build relationships. The other thing about communication, and for years, marriage therapists and couples therapists were, you know, trying to do very specific things about, you know, communication, which really didn't have an awful lot of lasting power. But the most important things about relationship communication have to do with making sure when you communicate, you're softening negative startups. Don't come out of the gate with a harsh startup, because immediately it's going to be perceived as criticism.
Of course.
Person's going to get defensive, and then you're off to the races. You don't want to have that kind of thing happen. The other thing is getting good at using repair mechanisms when you're communicating. Repair mechanisms are things that keep the relationship in good repair when you're talking to one another. It's reminding the person when you have conflict, look, I love you very much. I'm not trying to hurt you, but this thing is very important to me. And in the early stages of using these repair bids, you have to say, and I'm making a repair attempt. They have 2 parts. You make the bid, I love you, but this is important to me, and the other person has to agree to accept it as a bid and make sure that that whole process is being able to unfold to keep the relationship in good repair.
It's a lot of great information
Yes.
here, Dr. Robinson,
Yeah.
that everyone can start applying to their life today. And if there's one message, one sentence that can sum up how people can improve their relationships, what would you say that is?
I'd say that probably the single most important thing in a nutshell is you have to be able to honor your partner's dreams and visions as much as you do your own. If you make that as important as your own, you're on the pathway to great relationship success.
And as you said, you know, people always say it's their partner and best friend, so it's all about that friendship.
Absolutely.
So great to have you here. Thanks so much for all
Thank you very much.
Great advice.
Thanks.
Thank you.